morning, Sam.
Dogs, dogs, dogs. I have always loved dogs. Look at my little dog, just so beautiful.
Hey mate, get your own dog.
Hey, give me my dogs back.
Dude, can I just borrow him for a second?
Hey mate, how about you give my dog back? Come on,
Give me my dog back.
Just need him for a
Give me
minute.
my dogs back.
Beautiful dog.
It's nice to hear, mate, but do you want to get your own?
Hey, I just needed to borrow it for a minute, mate.
You don't borrow a dog.
You ever owned a dog? No. Not one of those house trained, toilet trained, walks perfectly on a lead, or even if it's not on a lead, it runs along beside you for hours and hours and hours, not being distracted by any other animal, not even a rabbit, not even another dog. Not that kind of dog. I'm not talking about the kind of dog that can swim all the way across a lake, and when it gets out to the other side, it looks at you with that smile as if to say, "You're such a wonderful master for taking me to the lake today." No, I'm not talking about that sort of dog. I'm not even talking about the sort of dog that sits patiently on its 2 designated times during the day where you're going to feed it so patiently to be fed. Not that kind of dog either. I'm not talking about a dog with beautifully and meticulously groomed hair, or one with short, healthy, gleaming hair that reflects the moonlight. Oh no, not one of those dogs either. I'm not talking about an outdoorsy sort of canine, or one that could do tricks or who's got special talents. No. Not that kind of dog. I'm talking Old English Sheepdog. Now, other Old English Sheepdogs, don't be offended. I'm not talking about all of you. I'm talking about one particular Old English Sheepdog. Same with owners. You might have a beautiful Old English Sheepdog. Wonderful. I'm talking about one. It's an Old English Sheepdog that we had when the kids were very, very small. Her name was Shay. The thing is, we didn't buy this dog. It wasn't our dog. We had some friends who had some friends that were going over to Canada for 1 year, and they needed somebody to look after their dog. So we volunteered and said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. It's only for a year. And when they brought the dog over, we thought, what sort of dog is that? Because the hair was all shaved, and they said, it's an Old English Sheepdog. And we thought, okay, right, well, they've shaved it. That's really, really good. What we didn't know is that Old English Sheepdogs, their hair grows at the rate of about 45 centimetres by the time they got back in their car, drove out of our driveway, down the road, screeching tyres, all laughing and singing the Canadian national anthem. So we got Shay. They never came back. Shay wasn't like all the other dogs. She was quite happy just cruising around town, or if she'd had enough of that, just sitting around the house listening to music. This dog had no concept also of the word stop when it came to eating or rolling in cow dung or licking your face, or even worse, licking your face after being rolling in cow dung. Actually getting licked in your face often came as a bit of a surprise because you couldn't really tell when her hair hadn't been cut for a while which end was which. And I can tell you, sometimes there were some very nasty consequences. When Shay hadn't had her hair cut for a while, it was really, really obvious because she loved looking in the house. And what she'd do is she'd actually press her eye up against the window and she'd move her head round in circles until all the hair got out of the way, until it was just this great big Old English Sheepdog eye looking around the house to see what was going on. That was usually a good indication that it was time to get her a haircut. She was absolutely obsessed with food. She wasn't interested in a bath at all or getting brushed. Believe me, she hated getting brushed. And she wasn't even that interested in going on walks. And even if you did happen to be able to get her out there on the lead for a little while, when she'd had enough, she just stopped. Like it didn't matter where you were, she just stopped. It was like, okay, I've had enough, you're gonna have to get me home some other way. And by the way, it's nearly tea time. Now, from what I'm telling you, it sounds like we didn't even like Shay. We actually loved Shay. She was a great dog. She provided some very, very funny moments for the family. But as animals tend to do, they tend to get older faster than we do. And a couple of days we noticed that Shay had been laying out in the garden and didn't want to get up. And I rang our vet, a guy from our church called Ian Sinclair, and said, Ian, Shay doesn't seem to want to get up out of the garden. He said, give her another day and see what happens. And again, Shay just lay there, didn't want to move, didn't want to eat. And Ian said, sheepdogs actually do this. It's time for her to be put down. And so I went to the kids and told them, Shay's really tired, she's really, really unwell, and Uncle Ian's going to put her down, put her to sleep so that she's now at rest. And the kids bawled their eyes out, absolutely bawled their eyes out, except for Kobe, who said, okay, see you, Shay, and walked inside. And while Melody and Samuel were just crying, Kobe walked inside, and I thought, what was that all about? And I followed her in about 5 minutes later, and there she was drawing a picture of Shay with tears coming out of her eyes. Anyway, I took Shay to Ian at the vet and we put Shay down, which was a very, very sad moment in our household. The next day was, I think, the week before Christmas, and all the choir in church were sitting up in these great big steps, and Ian, the vet, was sitting at the top of these steps, and just before the service started, he spotted Samuel, who was only 3 years old at the time and still very upset about Shay, because it was only a day since then, and he loved Shay. And Ian beckoned to Samuel to come up to him, and Samuel climbed up the stairs. This is just before the service started, and Ian held his arms out, and just as Samuel was about to go into his arms, I saw Ian change, and then Samuel turned around and walked back down the stairs. I thought, I wonder what that was all about. After church, I said to Ian, what happened when Samuel went up to the step? He said, I'm devastated. I said, why is that? He said, because he was coming up towards me and I thought I'd comfort him. So I put my arms out and he walked straight up to me, looked me in the eye and said, you killed my dog. And I don't know if Ian's ever recovered from that, actually.
I have to apologise for this.
Oh, hi Samuel.
I'm sorry, Uncle Ian.
Well, oh yes, look, she was a beautiful dog.
And you still killed her.
She got matted hair and a big wet tongue. She goes around licking everyone, 'cause she's Shay, the sheepdog. Well, she eats to live and she lives to eat. She's got 4 big Ugg boots sticking on her feet, 'cause she's Shay, the sheepdog. Well, she got no respect for the family tree. She just lifts up her leg and 1, 2, 3, 'cause she's Shay, the sheepdog. More like a sheep than a dog. P.S. Just by the way, a little bit down the track after Shay died, in an obvious moment of weakness and stupidity, I took the kids to a breeder and I bought one. A cat. But that's another story.